So today I'm making one of my astrology badges, and this time it's for Cancer. So to start, and as always, I'm going to clean down my clay board. So for the base of the badge, I'm going to be using two grey tones. One's actually a glitter clay, it's a Fimo Effects that I've mixed with another grey, and just a plain grey. And for the Cancer crab, I'll be using like a reddy orangey salmony colour, along with a small amount of mustards, along with the whites, a black, a blue and an aqua polymer clay, but you can use whatever colours you like really. And in terms of tools, I'll be using this little lot here. So I've a pin badge fastening, a cookie cutter tool, a blaze cutting tool, my needle tool, a small and a medium sized ball tool, a scalpel and my acrylic roller. And I've a list of tools that I use regularly down in description as well. So I'm going to start with the glitter clay. So I'm using the flower side of the cookie cutter tool here, as it will match the badges that I've created already for the series. So I'll just pop that out like so. And as these things never come out very neatly, well, often is the case anyway, I'm just going to go around the flower shape just with my small ball tool here, just to neaten off edges, etc. And I'll go over finally with a wet wipe as well, just to ensure that everything's nice and neat. So I'll move on to the second sheet of clay that's been through the pasta roller. And I'm going to do exactly the same. Apologies for any background noise that you might hear going on. My studio's on quite a busy road, so invariably I'll pick up traffic noise. And it's raining today as well, which isn't helping either, but I'll do my best to cut out as much as I can in editing. So I'm just going to go around the second flower shape and neaten things off again in exactly the same way as previously. So now that's done, I'm just going to pop it on some parchment paper here, just to give it a few seconds to cool down. So I'm going to place the plain clay over the glitter clay like so, and I need to ensure that they're exactly matched, so it might take a few seconds just to line them up properly. Oops, there's a tiny piece there as well. So now with my blaze cutting tool, I'm just going to go right down the centre, and again at a right angle. And this can be really fiddly, so if you wanted just to have a plain background, that's absolutely fine and entirely up to you. So I'm going to now make the 4 shapes into 8s, or 16 actually if you double them up. And again, it just takes a little while to line up the badge sometimes, so I'm hesitating a bit here. Now I need to go around each segment and just take one of the pieces accordingly, and I'll be alternating between the two, so it gives a nice pattern overall. So there we go, it's starting to come together now. And it's quite warm at the moment, so it's not really helping in terms of trying to separate the pieces, but I'll do the best that I can. And there we go, just pop that in the final place. And I'll just spend a few seconds just to arrange them a little tighter where possible. So I'm going to go over just with my acrylic roller to ensure that everything's kind of stuck well really. And I'll go over with a wet wipe as well, just to ensure that everything's nice and neat. And there we go, it's all done. And it's a shame really that you can't actually see too much of the glitter effect on camera, but yeah, it's pretty sparkly in real life. So now I'm going to move on to my little Cancer crab. So I've just got some of my salmon clay, and I'll just make a very basic crab body shape really. And I need to be mindful that it's not too big so it fits onto the badge well. So I just need to suss out where I want the Cancer crab to be placed. So now I need to make a series of legs. So for the bottom two, I'm just making them very, very simple in design. And moving up to the second pair of legs, I'm just going to add in a tiny bit of detail actually, just with my needle tool here. Doesn't need to be too much, but it just gives the impression of a joint really. I'll just place that accordingly. And I'll do the same with the third pair of legs. And it kind of looks like a spider at the moment, but once the pincers are added, it'll look more like a crab, I'm sure. So I want my crab to be quite cartoon in style, so I'm going to give him some eyes. And they'll go on top of the stalks here, so I'll just make a couple of little round shapes. And press down with my medium-sized ball tool here. And I'll just pop in some white clay. And some teeny tiny pupils in black polymer clay. So I'll just add those to the top of the stalks. And it's looking a lot more crab-like now, thankfully. And now I'll move on to the pincers. And these are really easy to make, just like so. So I'll need two of those, so I'll just place those onto the badge. And I'll create a pair of arms for him as well. And they're very similar in style to the legs. If you're new to my channel, I'm a polymer clay artist and illustrator, and I make weekly videos about my polymer clay sculptures, and I've some tutorials, process videos, a few vlogs, etc. So if you'd like to see further polymer clay goodness, by all means go and hit the subscribe button. So I want to give my crab a little mouth, just to add a little bit more personality really, so just really easily done. A little ball of clay with some needle tool detail. And with the mustard clay, I'm just going to start adding some teeny tiny little balls of clay, just for a bit of visual interest really. So I think it needs some contrasting colour just to make the piece pop a little more. So I've got some kind of turquoisey or aqua coloured polymer clay here. So I'm just going to add some balls around the outside. And I think in hindsight the colour values are all a little too similar, so I think what I'm going to do is to add some blue here and there instead of the green or aqua balls. So let's try this instead. And I think that works a lot better actually. It just makes the piece pop a little more. So now that's done, I'll need to bake the piece, and at this point you'll need to refer to your own brand of polymer clay's baking instructions. So now the piece is all baked and cooled, I'm going to add just a tiny amount of Sculpey glaze. So I'm just going to place it on the coloured balls actually, because I don't want too much because I've already got the glitter effect going on. And once the glaze has dried, I can add the badge fastening. So I'm just using a 2 parts epoxy glue here. It's Araldite, but you can use any. And I'll just pop a little dollop onto the badge fastening and place that onto the badge. And that will then need 24 hours to dry, so I'll just pop it on an old wet wipe so it's nice and flat. And here it is, all done, and yeah, I really like it. It's a really jolly piece, so yeah, I'm pretty pleased with it. And here it is with the rest of the gang, which includes Taurus, Aries, Leo and Gemini. So I think the next to make is Virgo. Thanks for watching, I'll see you soon. Bye bye.